Hey guys, let's quick Mythic Illyria video that I wanted to go over real quick. So a lot of our fixes are pretty simple, but we all need to work hard to make sure that they happen. So right now with phase one obelisk specifically, and then the first one of phase two, and we'll get to that one in a second. We are doing a good job of on the very first ones of the fight putting them where they need to go, and then after that, it kind of becomes chaos. So, just some things that I'm seeing melee. We're doing this thing with like this one where you guys are pointing it across the room. This is the second one of the fight. It's not terrible that you're doing this, but it's not ideal because it's forcing you to go into like the baited pools behind you and it's getting yourself killed. So I'm going to go ahead and say like this kind of shit like that is banned. Instead, what you want to do is you want to be using this one like on the bottom left hand side of Demiar here and pointing it where no one else is going to be. That should be your first and your second one of the fight. And then ranged, yeah, we want to come and bait this one over here, but we want to pull it so that we're shooting this off in another land as well. Um, so that's banned. And then ranged, our second one, we're kind of pointing this one all over the place, all around the map. We want to point it into outer space because these, if you bait the bombs like here, it's whatever. I'm also fairly certain this one happens after we bait everything. But shooting it off in outer space is good. And then melee, you guys are kind of doing this thing where you guys are also pointing it across the map when Crazed is already at Borellis, and he is sometimes getting hit. The other thing that's happening is our handy Shadow Priest here is also trying to stay right around this area so that he can keep everything dotted. And when you guys point it across and through the middle of the room, sometimes he's getting sniped. So it's just easier for us to always point it to outer space like this where no one is going to be for your second and your third obelisks. And then, at least that's what I believe is happening here. Let me double check the cast one more time. Yes, the third and the fourth. There should be four obelisks, I believe, the entire first phase. And then range, when we gate over, we also want to point it here. Sometimes we're pointing it through the middle of the room and kind of at melee. That's what I want to avoid. And then we move up to this fourth one, melee. You guys are pointing this all over the place. Point it where the ranged are not, and then ranged point where the melee are not. It'll just clean everything up. Other things, the first bow of the fight, we need a defensive. It gets paired with a silence cast plus a healing absorb is on people. You need to wall 100%. Have to. Also, the arrows that actually kill the bosses, those need to get walled. We're losing people to not walling to that, and that's a very silly thing to not be using a defensive on. When you get the obelisk on you, one thing that we need to do for the entire fight is we have to be using defensive when these obelisks go on us, especially when it's getting paired with an additional damage event. When it's not paired with another damage event, it's kind of okay to survive, but when it gets paired with another one, it's very, very, very scary. And then we, again, biggest fix, we just have to stop shooting these across the room. The second thing I want to talk about real quick is intermission one. The thing that I'm seeing watching replays, and we're going to watch one here in a second, is the first arrows have gone off. The second arrows are about to go off, and this person didn't clear on first. They need to clear on second. They have these orbs chasing them, and they decide to stop here to get hit by this arrow rather than keep going forward to try to get hit by this arrow. If you stop, and you're not with the group, you are going to die because this is just going to kill you. You have to always keep going forward. That's the number one thing. The second thing is I would actually say the first and third arrow is the best combo to get hit with. The second and fourth isn't bad, but you can get trapped really easily. And what I mean by that is this is the start of intermission. You'll notice there's nothing on the ground but these orbs going around. Still nothing. As soon as these first arrows go off is when the first puddles come out, right? And now you have stuff you have to dodge. But now you don't have to clear. You can dodge these arrows, get through the gaps, and now you can get hit by this third one. You still have to dodge, and now you just have to survive. You don't want to get hit by these fourth arrows. Okay. The other thing that I'll show you real quick is you'll see this wall right here is about to cross this blue boundary. This is after the third arrows just went off. these are mostly going to disappear in just a second here. So now you have even more room to play with. Okay, so just play that how you want to. There's too many deaths of getting hit by 2 arrows occurring, and that's one of the things that we need to be fixing. And then also people just being slow and like, oh, I need to get hit by this arrow, I'm gonna die. Well, yeah, you got hit by it, but then you just were too slow and got hit by the orbs behind you as well. So you need to always keep running forward, which means we're probably going to change the roar timing to occur after the first arrows go off to help improve movement speed so people can try to stay ahead as best they can. The second thing we're going to fix is in the beginning of phase 2, ranged, we're being a little bit slow getting to our bait spot. And the problem with that is it's causing like an obelisk like this to occur. We're reporting it at melee so that this person who has it can also get to the ranged bait spot. We want to start here so that we can point the obelisk like this one. So that way this one does not happen. So we need to be moving faster. That's mostly it. There are a couple silly things that's by no means anyone's fault that I just want to point out. This is a death that Let's had on one of our polls. He has an obelisk. He's at 100% health right here. And when you go and look at his death log, he gets hit by 2 of his own arrows. And it's not the arrows of someone else, because I've checked this multiple times. What I am assuming has happened here is because these 2 obelisks are kind of like all in the same line, the game is weird and it thinks that he kind of like sniped himself. So, one thing I would say just to avoid weirdness is don't make your obelisks like both of their lines become one line in themselves, if that makes sense. Um, I'm not 100% sure, but that's the only real thing. Outside of that, when we do tether breaks for the um, new tethers, now that we can't immune them anymore, this is what it's going to be. The first tether, tanks break instantly, and I have a video to kind of demonstrate this. More than you can. Excuse me. So first tether's here. Sorry, this it's not. Did I say non-tanks break instantly? Not tanks. Sorry. So this is first tethers. Non-break tanks are going to break instantly. It's the exact same thing we had already planned. So the first 2 non-tank people that get these are going to go break these immediately. And then we're going to wait for these planets to start shooting out of her hand. So those little blue things falling across the sky, and then the tank is going to jump over and break his tether. Now, you can hold it for just a split second here because you'll see that the tether actually extends to the next platform. But we can break it pretty instantly once we get over here. That's going to be the first break. The second break is tank is going to break instantly, wait for the bombs to go off, and then the last 2 are going to break individually. So we get tethers right here. There's bombs about to go off. We go and break the tank one first. And now we break the 2 DPS ones after the bombs have gone off. And then that's it. And then the next ones, this is the most difficult bomb set, second most difficult bomb set. The first one's probably the most difficult to fight. We're going to gate over, and then it's going to go melee, range, tank, all staggered one by one. You guys have to make sure that we're all pixel stacked, basically against like close to this edge. We also need to be on this side of the platform where his debuff is at, so that we make sure we bait that this is the next platform the simulacrum goes onto as well. And wait, planets come out, we gate over, and now we're on this literal cusp of breaking these tethers. It's going to go melee break, range break, and then tanks break. And then also watch how these obelisk people are playing. We need to make sure that you guys go to the side away from the group so that we don't snipe each other here. And then going back to the first break, sorry, I should have brought this up real quick. These obelisk people, you can stay on the old platform and point them this way if you want to, or you can jump over and then just go to the side away from the group so you don't kill us as well. Most people have their obelisk people go over, but you play what's comfortable for you. Okay, so tethers 4 is going to be the same as tethers 2. The only caveat here is if this guy were to get off another cast of this interrupt, we're going to take a lot of damage, and we want all of the bombs to go off before we have the tank break, blah, 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 blah. Do it the same way. Again, we hug the corner. The good thing about these tethers right here is when we've already jumped over. These are the second to last ones of the fight, likely. Individually break again, and then when we get to these second to last ones of the fight, it's another individual break one by one by one. So that's just how we're playing it now. There's going to be AMZs down. The AMZs, how they're put down right now in the CDs, just for DKs to see real quick, specifically at phase 3. So you'll see Wumbo, yours is going down right when the tethers come out. So we're breaking those two fast. And then, so we need to make sure that AMZ's down as soon as the tethers come out. And essentially, like the way I want you guys to be doing it when you guys see these pop up on timeline reminders is the moment these tethers get applied, that's when you're putting your AMZs down. That's when you're putting your darknesses down, stuff like that. That's when we're sending out rally. The moment it gets applied is when we want to start putting these down. So, all right, I'm sorry that video was a lot longer than I intended it to be. If you have any questions, reach out. Bye bye.